Right now on KCOY 12 News at 5. A brush fire is spreading near Lompoc, chasing people from their homes. KCOY 12 has live team reports where the Mesa fire is moving now. Plus, another explosive setback for SpaceX. And an escaped killer is finally caught and now is starting to talk. What David Sweat is saying about his days on the run. KCOY 12 Central Coast News at 5 starts right now. We begin with breaking news. This is the scene of a fire burning in the Lompoc area that is threatening La Purisma Mission. The fire started about 1:30 off of Burton Mesa Boulevard. Officials say it has potential to do a lot of damage. Fire crews are hitting it hard from the air and the ground. There are mandatory evacuations for 1,400 people in the Sebeda Canyon, Gypsy Canyon, Tularosa Road, and Mission Hills area. It is being called the Mesa Fire. We have team coverage of this fire. KCOY 12's Natalie Tavidian is live at the evacuation center, but we're going to get things started with Juanita Adame, who has been following the flames. She has been out there for us all afternoon. Juanita has the very latest. Juanita, what have you learned?
Hey, Scott, I'm here in the Mission Hills parking lot now. I've been here most of the afternoon. I did talk to Captain David Zamboni a little while ago, and he told me that so far the fire is at 200 acres. We have seen numerous air support coming out here. They're putting retardant on this fire. We've seen about 4 to 5 retardant drops. We've seen about 4 to 5 water drops through a helicopter. Now, I am in the parking lot, and let me tell you that there have been people just coming out here to see what is going on. We were told this fire started a little after 1 o'clock this afternoon, and when we spoke to Zamboni, he told us again that the fire is at 200 acres. Now, there are people out here that have been evacuated. We talked to one man earlier. He said that he saw the flames 1 minute, the next minute he has fire officials knocking on his door telling him that he has to get out.
They just told us that it was a mandatory evacuation and we needed to get out, so I grabbed the dogs and the cats and got out.
And again, people in this parking lot are coming up and asking us a lot of questions. There was one man who just got off of work, and he said that he can't get up to his home. So we're just trying to keep everybody updated as much as we can. So that's what we have here, Scott. Sending it back to you.
Okay, Juanita, thank you. Again, about 1,400 people affected by these evacuations that are in place for certain neighborhoods and homes close to the fire. The Red Cross has a shelter in place at the Trinity Church of the Nazarene in Lompoc, and that's where we find Natalie Tavidian with more. Natalie.
Scott, I am at the Red Cross Evacuation Center right now in Lompoc. So as of 2:30, warnings started coming in, and several Mission Hill neighborhoods were evacuated. We do know that well over 1,000 people do have mandatory evacuations in place. A viewer sent us this video. Take a look. This was taken near their home. And Santa Barbara County fire officials tell us that several homes are threatened. We did see people evacuating their pets, and we talked to some people just leaving and others watching the fire from a distance.
And do you guys have a wedding coming up?
Yeah, in August.
Talk about that. What are the stuff that you're...
Just a bunch of decorations, tablecloths, photo albums, just stuff that's going to be a part of the wedding. I'm taking it all out.
We just grabbed basic stuff, clothes and food and water bottles. My mom grabbed pictures of the kids, and we grabbed our chickens. We just got them yesterday, or 2 days ago maybe. So, you know, they're still babies, and we want to make sure they're okay.
Santa Barbara County Fire is saying that the La Purisma Mission is threatened. Some businesses have also been evacuated, and people who don't evacuate are asked to let the fire department know. Now, if people have animals, for people who have large animals, there is a hotline they can call. That number is 681-4332. And if people have small animals that they can't keep with them or take to a friend's house, the address to take your small animals to is 1501 West Central Avenue. Live in Lompoc, Natalie Tavidian, KCOY 12 Central Coast News.
Natalie, thanks. Yeah, the fire and the flames and the smoke can be seen from miles away. We have many pictures on our website at KCOY.com, also on our Facebook page. If you go to Your Central Coast News on Facebook, you can see those. And we know conditions are dry out there. For a check on the winds and heat in the fire area, let's go to our First Alert Weather Center and our meteorologist, Jason Stipp.
Yes, it's very dry outside as far as the fuels on the ground are concerned. Fortunately, the humidity is rising. Taking a look at Lompoc's current conditions, Currently, we have a lot of sunshine, 64 degrees. Thankfully, one of the cooler locations along the Central Coast. The wind west at 13 miles an hour. The dew point's 54, humidity 68%. That's good news for us. Then at Vandenberg Air Force Base, we've had a lot more clouds here and cooler temperatures. It's 61 degrees, humidity much higher, 82%. We really haven't cleared out very much around Vandenberg Air Force Base and around the rest of the region. Some of the strongest wind in the region is around Lompoc and St. Inez, but fortunately, it is less than 15 miles an hour. And looking at the temperatures, this is also very encouraging. One of the coolest temperatures, Lompoc, 64 degrees. It's 103. Thankfully, we do not have Paso Robles heat right now. And the humidity, it is higher along the Central Coast than any other part of the region. So that is good news for us. We don't expect any good chances for any wet weather in the immediate short term. However, we do have some clouds pushing this direction. You can see them far to the east. More details about our chances for some much needed wet weather coming up in my first alert weather forecast.
All right, and we'll bring you more about the Mesa fire as it develops here on KCOY 12 News. It has been a warm day on the south coast. People in the Santa Barbara area are feeling it in the mid to high 80s. Staying cool is the goal for some in Santa Barbara. We visited with some people at Oak Park around the pool and the water features, and we asked them how bad they thought the weather was on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst. Most rated it a 7.
I don't mind the heat. I like it hot, but I don't like the humidity. The humidity, especially when you're working, it makes everything a little different.
It was hot and sticky.
The high temperature in Santa Barbara today was 88. That's 14 degrees above average. Now to the latest on a raging wildfire in Washington. At least 24 homes have been destroyed, according to sheriff's officials. They say several more homes are in danger. The blaze started yesterday afternoon and quickly spread. It was fueled by triple-digit temperatures and high winds. More than 3,000 acres have burned. The cause is still under investigation. Residents in Orchid say they're already hearing fireworks days before the 4th of July. Less than 2 weeks ago, a brush fire broke out behind these homes on Mesa Verde. Fire investigators say the 20-acre fire was caused after a bird flew into a power line and set nearby vegetation on fire. Neighbors fear fireworks could ignite the area again.
Last night it seemed like they were coming from the west, northwest, but it was hard to tell, you know, and with this kind of a dead growth behind us and everything, it just takes one to go out here and then this will never look the same in our lifetime.
Safe and sane fireworks can only be purchased in 3 cities in Santa Barbara County. They are Santa Maria, Guadalupe, and Lompoc. Fireworks are illegal in Santa Barbara, Carpinteria, Goleta, Solvang, Buellton, and all unincorporated areas. Paso Robles is reminding its residents to stay away from fireworks this year. All fireworks are banned due to drought conditions and high temperatures in Paso. Anyone caught lighting or even possessing safe and sane fireworks will be fined. Possessing fireworks is a misdemeanor, and if you're responsible for starting a fire, that is a felony. The second convicted killer who escaped from a maximum security prison in northern New York earlier this month is hospitalized with 2 bullet wounds today. A state trooper shot and captured him Sunday after spotting him near the Canadian border. Kenneth Craig reports from Dannemora, New York, where residents are expressing their relief that the ordeal is finally over.
Authorities say David Sweat has started telling them details of the getaway plan he and fellow escapee Richard Matt devised with prison employee Joyce Mitchell.
They would kill Mitchell's husband and then get in the car and drive to Mexico.
But when Mitchell didn't pick them up after they escaped, Sweat says they decided to go to Canada instead. Authorities say Sweat also told them he split from Matt 5 days before police killed Matt on Friday. Sweat was shot twice and taken into custody Sunday after a state trooper spotted him near the Canadian border. Residents near the prison in Dannemora showed their gratitude to the officers who worked around the clock.
I stopped to say thank you very much. You know, we appreciate it. And you see the smile on their face.
One of the big questions remaining is how the pair managed to evade capture for 3 weeks.
The Adirondacks, when you go through those mountains and those ridges and ditches and swamps, it's 10 times worse than you see around here.
Marty Simon is a survivalist and wilderness expert. He says he's amazed the 2 men lasted as long as they did.
It could be 2 things. He could really know what he's doing, or he could just be one of the luckiest guys on the face of this earth.
And the community is relieved their luck finally ran out. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Dannemora, New York.
2 prison employees have been arrested and charged in the connection with the escape. Gene Palmer is expected to appear in court Monday afternoon and plead not guilty. The Supreme Court has ruled using a controversial drug used during executions is legal. The court ruled in a 5-4 vote that the sedative midazolam can be used in executions without violating the 8th Amendment. That prohibits cruel and unusual punishment. The case comes after a botched execution in Oklahoma. In that execution, it took longer than usual for the inmate to go to sleep. That incident raised questions the drug did not perform its intended task of putting inmates in a coma-like sleep. In another ruling, the Supreme Court struck down federal regulators' attempt to limit power plant emissions. Regulations were put in place to limit the amount of mercury or other hazardous air pollutants in the air. The rules went into effect back in April, but the High Court ruled 5-4 that the EPA failed to take costs into account when it made the regulation. The case now goes back to lower courts for the EPA to decide how to account for the extra costs. A Montana family had an unforgettable experience when a bear jumped onto the hood of their car. How they were able to scare him away, coming up next. And while you're having fun in the sun, remember to keep your skin safe. What you need to keep in mind, that's next.
Live, Scott Hennessy, Paula Lopez, and meteorologist Jason Stiff. KCOY 12, Central Coast Local News. Live at 5.